Where to start? Ultimately, I guess this is a story about psychedelics, spirituality. I need to emphasize, first of all, how difficult this is for me. I don't like cameras. I'm shy. I don't like attention, etc. Anywho, here I am. We'll get to the good stuff shortly, but I think there needs to be some type of prelude here. Psychedelics. I've always liked them. I've always done well on them. Never had a bad trip. Started using psychedelics in high school. Sold acid. That's in the 90s, by the way. The acid today isn't really acid. Most of it's just research chemicals. Doesn't even come close to the stuff that I was selling back then. Anywho, I always did well on psychedelics. Never had a bad trip. If I was gonna have a bad trip, it would have been when I had to beat up my friend who was on acid, who freaked out and started choking his girlfriend. I was on the same amount of acid as he was. So if I was going to have a bad trip, it probably would have been then. But that was awkward. She was a Mormon and just started dating my dirtbag friend. But I guess technically I saved her life. I don't know. I don't know if I say it. Well, he was choking her. She stopped breathing. Couldn't hear her screaming anymore. Yeah. But yeah, awkward meeting her parents in the hospital that night. But yeah, if I would have had a bad trip, it would have been then probably. I didn't have a good time, but I didn't have a bad trip. Homeboy was freaking the fuck out. I've always had weird shit happen to me or around me, paranormal shit. I've had dreams of the future. For example, I had this car. I love this car. 84 Monte Carlo Super Sport. Had it painted Dodge Viper blue. It was head turner. And I parked it right outside my window. I knew what that engine sounded like. But someone managed to steal that car in the middle of the night. And they found it on blocks. I went to bed at like 11:30. They found it on blocks on the east side of Austin at like 3:30 in the morning. No engine, no transmission. But anyway, I'm getting off point. 2 weeks before that happened, I had this really vivid nightmare that made no sense whatsoever. It was a vivid dream, and I'm like hovering, looking down to the left at my car in a field of grass with donut tires on it. And it was a nightmare. I mean, it made no sense, but it was a terrible nightmare. And I woke up just so disturbed, saying, I would never put those wheels on my car. Ah! Well, 2 weeks later, it was stolen. And when I picked it up at the impound yard, it was the exact same scene. Same wheels, tires. But, I would have never been able to make sense of that. I never studied metaphysics or anything. I read this book. Um, I think it was called like Sylvan Book of Mental Dynamics. When I think I was like 20. And what I got out of that book was just how to meditate. Uh, some other things you should probably know about me. I'm autistic, slightly autistic. I'm really good at hiding it. Or am I? You tell me. I have ADD really bad. But maybe those combined give me this kind of superpower to meditate, which doesn't make any sense with ADHD. But something, when I take psychedelics, I get so chill and relaxed. I can meditate and go so deep. It's crazy. Um, and I just kind of taught myself that. Um, I can almost stop my breathing. It's crazy. My experiences with psychedelics, I never had a bad trip. I don't see dragons or elves. That's rookie shit. Um, I've learned to detach my ego from my trips. I know the difference. I know the difference between my imagination. When I first started tripping, I could stare into wood grain or whatever and see faces, blah, blah, blah. I've trained myself to detach that part, so I don't see any of that bullshit anymore. I see fractals, hyperbolic, perfect geometry, infinite. It's crazy. I can connect to source pretty damn good. So I learned to what I called um, tuning fractals, and what how I came across that was through these trips and meditation. Uh, I found that if I sat more straight and became symmetrical with my body and slowed my breathing and detached my ego and thoughts, that I could tune these fractals. They would become more crystalline and perfect the more I became balanced, I guess. Symmetrical breathing, um, detached ego, lack of thought. That when I would get there, my fractals would become tuned, is what I called it. Um, and there were some points where I got so deep where I came out of my body basically and had like 3D vision even behind me. Um, Encased in hyperbolic fractal perfect geometry that went in every direction infinitely and infinitely between each segment, if that makes sense. Um, I'm reminiscing. So yeah, I'm seasoned. I know what I'm doing on psychedelics. Um, I got thrown for a loop. DMT. Okay, more backstory. More backstory. Okay, DMT. I tried DMT. I think it was like 12 years ago, and I didn't get. An, I didn't. We didn't have enough. My girlfriend at the time wanted to experience it, and we didn't have much, but she wanted me to try it first, so I just tried a little bit, and then she, so she could have the rest. She was mourning her father, and she thought that would help. And I was basically just a guinea pig, and then and when I did it back then, it just reminded me of like an acid trip. It wasn't any different, really. Um, it's just like a peak in a moderate to strong acid trip. No difference. My life's been a struggle. Well, I used to battle from depression and anxiety and stuff. Life's chewed me up and spit me out several times. A bad motorcycle wreck. Uh, Almost died of pancreatitis. But even with all that experience with psychedelics and knowing the stuff that I was seeing, that there's no way my brain could produce these things. It would take a supercomputer. And, I couldn't even draw a simple version of a piece of what I was witnessing on these psychedelics. But even with all that, I was just curious. I never had any faith. Um, Growing up, my mom dragged me to church. I hated it. I've never felt comfortable in any church I've been in, but somehow felt guilty for that. And I remember, like, the first time I took acid, I realized that's just a bunch of bullshit. And there's something more out there to know about. But saying that, I didn't know what it was. I wasn't sure if it was, or basically, I didn't have any faith. Well, getting fed up with a pretty rough life and shit not working out, one should try new things. So, um, psychedelics came out again. I started taking some really good mushrooms and meditating. And then I started praying. Yeah, I didn't have anything to lose. Um, and then I let go and listened, and shit started improving very quickly, very quickly. Um, and my life basically did 180. Um, and then it kind of brought me to have an urge to smoke DMT. So, what does any rational person do? Manufacture DMT, smoke it out of a giant bong. And I did not expect what happened to happen. Um, so, all right, set and setting. Everyone knows about set and setting. The set is your mental state. The setting is where you are. So to make DMT, there's a process where you put it in the freezer when it's in solution form, and the DMT crystals come together and stick to Pyrex. So I did that the night before, and this is a work day. I wake up, and as soon as I wake up, I remember that DMT's in the freezer, probably ready to go. And I opened it up, and yep, the crystals were there. It was a success. And what does any normal human do before work? Smoke DMT. So setting. So I had this calling to smoke DMT, and I was going to smoke it. And I've always heard, when you do DMT, you need to go, in there, with a question or some type of curiosity or request. So I went in. I have fibromyalgia, and yeah, my life is doing a 180. Everything's good. Like, I was doing very well in life compared to my past. My fibromyalgia, man, that's the only thing that's been holding me back, man. It sucks. It sucks. And I read somewhere that people have had some good results with DMT and resolving fibromyalgia symptoms. So that's what I was going in for. The set is clear. The setting was right here. So you hear about people smoking DMT, and you see these DMT trip simulations on YouTube. And most people describe, similar experiences with symmetrical vision, DMT world, castles, neon, and that's kind of what I was expecting, even though it didn't happen the first time I smoked DMT a long time ago. But I was damn sure I was going to get a big enough hit for it to do something this time. I ripped that shit, and within 5 seconds, I don't have any of this. What is this shit they say they have? I had no tunnel, no waiting room, no hyperbolic geometry, no psychedelic look whatsoever. 5 seconds after I ripped that shit, this Space Invader looking code kind of shit entered my vision and then turned into 4 squares of Mayan swirls and instantly dissolved. And the first thing I saw was a giant Star of David, golden, I'm going to tell you what my train of thought was when this is happening. I was like, what the fuck? Jewish? What the fuck is this? And then I see all these other fucking symbols. Pentagram. It was doing this weird pointing up thing. I'm looking at my notes here. Crescent moon. This is all gold. Gilded. Not like DMT realm shit. This is like crystal clear, like gilded gold, black background. The triangle with the dot in the middle connecting, the Trinity thing, and some square things, and then these they almost look like slots in like a slot machine, like this golden tabernacle with all these esoteric symbols just rotating. And I'm up to the right, looking down, just like the dream of my car. And I'm like, what the fuck? I've never had any psychedelic experience like this. Nothing even close. And then I see a vision of my daughter. My daughter's adult now, and I see her in her current form, and she's got a big smile on her face, and she's so happy. And I'm like, I know, you know, in my head. And then I see this girl that works at the smoke shop down the street that I frequently visit. And she's all happy and smiling. I don't know this girl. This is just a friendly face. I'm not looking for anything. I have no agenda. And I'm like, what the fuck? The girl from the smoke shop? And the answer was yes, and you must tell her everything. And then see fucking pyramids. And then I see a fucking flying saucer hooking up from the bottom of it, black and gold, gilded, not DMT realm, with some blue light kind of seeping through like little areas of it, and there's some type of like blue light kind of in the middle, but there's these esoteric and other symbols around the ring of this fucking flying saucer. And somehow I'm made known that those are spells, and that's how it does its thing or something. And then there's some type of understanding with me and the pyramids that there's some type of still functioning device. And this is before I fucking knew about the shit underneath the pyramids, those tunnels. I didn't know about that shit. But it was like known to me that that pyramid is some type of machine, and it's still working, like some type of like spiritual barometer or something like that. And then I saw a vision of a peyote cactus in the desert sky with the sun behind it. Just an empty sky, blue sky, with the sun right behind a giant San Pedro cactus stalk. And then it goes back to like those tabernacle fucking rotating things with all this esoteric symbols and shit on it. Realistic gilded gold, like machinery, like it's like glistening, like I can see like light glistening. It's not DMT realm. And at that point, my alarm clock for work goes off. I have to turn it off. I woke up early. I was excited to smoke that weed. So, the alarm's going off, and I open my eyes to like shut that fucking thing off. Because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. And I open my eyes, and I can see the room just like normal. And I can see that those visions that I had with my eyes closed at the same time, like two movies are playing at the same time. Nothing's wavy, there's no psychedelic shit going on. It's just two movies. Like, I can see through the DMT movie and then the real movie behind it. So I'm trying to shut that fucking thing off, seeing that shit, and then I somehow shut it off and then close my eyes, and then I'm like kind of coming out of it and shit. And it's time to go to work. I was not expecting that. I was expecting like some type of entity to fucking take all my fucking fibromyalgia pain away. What the fuck? So that's my my first real DMT experience, right? So I went to work and acted normal. Came home, first thing I did was get that fucking bong out. I loaded a bigger chunk on there. I'm not weighing this shit. I wanted to find out what the fuck, the girl at the smoke shop? What the fuck was that about? So that's the setting now. That's what I went in the second time. The girl at the smoke shop? What the fuck? I don't even know this girl. I'm not interested in anybody. I'm on a spiritual journey. So I ripped that shit. What was the first thing that happened when I did it the second time? Oh yeah, the Space Invader code to Maya again. And then that was just like 3 seconds, even quicker. and just immediately dissolved, and I whited out. I passed out, and I came to. I thought I was in a dream. I forgot I smoked DMT. I thought I was asleep dreaming, and it was that same above looking down to the left, and it was just those fucking tabernacle fucking things, gilded, realistic. It's not. It's like a. So, ever since, I started praying and doing all that shit, I'm really paying attention to what God, universe is guiding me. Things are just working out so well. I'm surrounded by excellent people that I love at work. They're all great people. For the first time in my life, I'm happy. I'm uh, I'm not lonely. I feel whole. But anyway, so I'm not gonna disobey. You must tell her. You know. So I write this letter, and I said I was in there like a week before. I was tripping on mushrooms, and I was with my daughter and her dog Crumley, and I put something in the letter like, "Hey, I was the guy tripping on mushrooms, talking about synchronicity because I was talking about synchronicity because we fucking manifested a fucking badass car for my daughter, man, for no money, basically, like too good to be true, but it was. I just did it with me too. I've got a fucking Mercedes out there now. I mean, it's not a new Mercedes; it's an old, like beat up one. But you should see my old car. I mean, anyway, getting off point again. So yeah, I'm not gonna fucking not do when they say you must tell her. So I write the letter. Um, I'm the guy that was there. Mushrooms, I don't know if you remember me, but I mentioned something like I have crazy story to tell you. I'm not crazy, but the story is. And I just work right down the street, right down the sidewalk. And I didn't want her to think I was like coming on to her, but I really needed to sit down and talk with her, like somewhere private. Like I couldn't tell her that at work. Um, so yeah, I wrote that letter, and God, I was so fucking nervous, man. I was so fucking nervous because, man, I work right down the street. This is my reputation. Um, I'm not crazy, but not everyone's going to believe that. But you don't ignore something like that. So I wrote the letter. I was so fucking nervous, man. It would have been, if I was just asking a girl on a date, it's so much easier than to fucking do this. um, yeah, but fuck it, right? Fuck it. So I went there and I was gonna just hand it to her right there, but I got so fucking nervous and I said some stupid shit. I don't know what I said, but I was just so fucking nervous. I couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't give her the fucking letter. So I buy my shit from her, and then you know I feel defeated, but I'm not gonna fucking leave that store without leaving that fucking letter. And she gets stuck helping someone else, and I act like I'm gonna buy something. I wasn't interested in shit, but it took forever for her to help those people. And I'm sitting there acting like I'm good. Sorry, guys. Uh, but yeah, eventually just, this is for you. And left. And yeah, no wonder. Uh, no wonder, you know. And I don't, I don't care. I'm just doing what I'm told, But I failed at that mission because I didn't tell her. So that's why I'm doing this video now. So I'm going to record these videos. I'm going to put them on YouTube. And then I'm going to write another letter and hand it over to those guys at the smoke shop, just with the link, to the YouTube. But saying all that, shit gets crazier. I'm telling you. I'll make some videos. But that DMT, it did something to me. It opened up something. To be continued. Peace. Humans of the earth, we are one. Love one another.